In this video, we're looking at some of the best bosses from great action games that run on the latest generation of hardware. This way, you can immediately boot up your console if you get excited about any of these battles. Now, let's charge forward and have a look at 10 amazing boss battles in modern action games.
What? Still here? Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul.
We could pick a boss from the excellent Dark Souls Remastered, but in the end we went for Dark Souls 3. The third game in this beloved series is one that's full of memorable boss fights. Picking one is a tough challenge, but we have to go with Gale. Not only does he have a great backstory, if you're into that stuff, but the fight against him feels personal. It's challenging but fair and definitely very epic. The location of this boss battle is gorgeous, and he has several dynamic phases that utilize the playing field to the fullest. Above everything, this fight is just fun.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream?
With the next entry, we stay with the works of From Software and embrace the darkness from Bloodborne. The game is so much more fast-paced compared with the Dark Souls series. At one point, you can decide to end the game, or go for the optional real final boss, the First Hunter. This final fight combines every challenge the game is able to throw at you. He's quick, and his melee attack can kill you instantly. At the same time, there are no obstacles to hide behind. You need to beat this boss if you want to call yourself a true master of Bloodborne. DMC, Devil May Cry, was a departure in style for the main protagonist, but Dante still had the moves he's known for. Despite all the criticism, DMC is a great action game with a fair amount of awesome boss fights. The battle against Bob Barbaz feels very relevant today, as it parodies mainstream populist media.
Now what we have here is some truly shocking footage of the terrorist, known as Dante, at the Bellevue Pier recently.
It offers some amazing gameplay that even switches to a live broadcast at some point. If you still hold a grudge against the former political commentator Bill O'Reilly, then this is the boss battle for you.
Breaking news, Bob. You're fired.
On the Nintendo Switch, you can play both Bayonetta and its sequel while you're all waiting for the third game to be released. The Bayonetta series is full of great boss fights, but we want to focus on Gamora. This dragon fought on your side in the first game, but decided to rebel against our heroine in the sequel.
I'm not one for pets who don't listen to their masters.
It's the first boss battle in Bayonetta 2 and sets the tone for things to come. Amazing over-the-top combat that even takes to the sky for more brutal action. This boss fight is simply spectacular. God of War changed the formula up this year, but luckily it still offered some great boss battles. Take this Dark Elf for example. He is the king of Alfheim and the first opponent that truly demands skill from the player. You need to dodge his attacks and use guard breaks, or you won't be able to take him down. His bombs can temporarily blind you, which makes the fight even more challenging. This boss teaches you how to defend and dodge. You need to be smart, and don't get too greedy when he opens up for your attacks.
Resurrect the most brutal overlord of the
Nioh is a samurai-themed action game in the vein of Dark Souls. It presents you with a wide variety of yokai, warriors, and spirits to fight. Mitsunari is the one we would like to highlight. This is a very aggressive boss that can supercharge his attacks. Picking your moments and not running out of stamina are important in order to win. This fight makes you sit on the edge of your seat, and the intensity of the battle makes it one of the most memorable encounters in the game. The Witcher 3 bosses don't require Dark Souls-like timing and precision. However, it would be unfair to say that they don't require skill from the player. Blocking, dodging, and attacking at the right time are the key to success here. Take the fight against the Caretaker, for example. You really need to use the right spells and weapon buffs to beat this boss. The interesting thing about this fight is that the Caretaker has many ways to heal himself. You need to do everything to stop that from happening. It's a fun fight with a decent amount of challenge as well.
I've been waiting a long time for this moment.
Fury is a game about a bunch of boss fights glued together with some truly awesome music. The boss fight we want to highlight is the one against the edge. He requires some serious timing while the battle itself goes through multiple stages.
You move well. You're reading me quite quickly. Let's see how predictable you think I am now.
Each of these stages brings new challenges to the table, offering a very dynamic boss fight in which every mistake is your own fault. This is our favorite battle in the game because it feels like honest man-to-man combat. When it comes down to action games, the Yakuza series has really built a name for itself. The latest entry in the series is Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. Throughout the game there are plenty of fights that have lots of built-up tension, but the most epic boss has to be Takumi Someya.
今度は殺す気でやらせてもらいますよ。上等だ。
It's a fight that has quite some build-up and it even occurs twice. You need to utilize every aspect of your combat skills to take him down. But not before you guys had a nice 2.5 minute long conversation in which you can cut the tension with a knife.
どういうことだ？染谷。見ての通りですよ。4代目。 In terms of diversity, you don't get a much more amazing game than Nier Automata. This action game embraces elements from so many genres, it's almost ridiculous. This can also be seen in the boss fights, which are presented in many different ways. One of the most entertaining fights we had was the one against Beauvoir. This fight has everything from awesome gameplay to gaining knowledge about the interesting background of the robots. Killing this mechanical thing that has the power to love is even a little emotional. It really shows the depth that Nier Automata has to offer.
Beautiful, beautiful. I must be beautiful.
Those look like corpses.
Which of these bosses did you beat? Let us know in the comments and make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, incredible! Amazing! What I just saw here? It was magical. And he was probably the toughest one in here.